This month has been very exciting so far. We just saw Bitcoin break over $40,000 this weekend. The Bitcoin miners have been rallying throughout December so far, and I want to talk about a few things going on. This will be mostly a chart-oriented video, but let's get started. I'm going to talk about Bitcoin. I'm also going to touch on Coinbase stock, and we're going to look at CleanSpark, and I'll show you what's going on the charts for all three of these. And if you don't mind hitting the like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, it definitely helps me out a lot. And there are some links down below for some free stocks and cryptos if you're interested. And just take a look at Bitcoin. We were trading in this ascending, kind of a tightening channel. Almost wanted to call it a wedge, but I'd say it's more of an ascending channel. And once we broke to the upside, once we broke out of this resistance, Bitcoin did see a continued run. Bitcoin is now just inches away from $42,000. Keep in mind that we are becoming overbought on the RSI, but believe it or not, we have moved much higher before and have seen a much more overbought RSI, so this could definitely continue, but I would tread cautiously here. We have been overbought like this before, and even more so. And keep in mind, back here in October, we were so overbought, but what did we do? We barely pulled back, and we continued trending higher. So yes, while we are a bit overbought on Bitcoin, and I do anticipate some retracement, in my opinion, that doesn't mean it's time to sell. I do believe Bitcoin has much more to gain, and this is only the beginning. And that said, I do expect a retracement, a test of 40,000. I think that's a very important level to test. And once we either bounce off of it, we can move higher, or if we break it, we start testing the high 30s, specifically 39,000, which was our breakout point when we were trading back here in the 38s. And Coinbase stock just continues higher as well. This was one that I was watching, I wanted to get into, didn't buy any yet, and we're just taking off. Now I am anticipating a little bit of a pullback for Coinbase as well. We did gap up here. We saw a lot of gap ups for the miners and stocks like this due to Bitcoin's weekend run. But just be aware we might fill this gap. Coinbase is definitely a little bit overbought as well. And last time we were overbought, less overbought than this. We went from 111 all the way down to $72. Now, I don't necessarily expect a retracement like that, but I do see the possibility of us coming down a bit, coming down and testing our previous resistance as a support potentially, right around $113 to $115, at which point I would definitely be buying Coinbase. It might not get down there, and I do think Coinbase is a solid DCA, but I would be careful here and anticipate buying a lower price sometime this week or next week. However, if Bitcoin does continue running, which it certainly can, potentially some consolidation first, you can definitely see these miners and exchanges like Coinbase stock running up. So my opinion is don't be too hasty, but also don't be too patient. I notice a lot of people now with stocks like CleanSpark just saying, I'm going to be waiting for 5, I'm going to be waiting for 650, so on and so forth. But if you believe in the company long term, if you think there's a lot more gains to be had long term, sometimes it takes the anxiety, the worry out of it by just DCAing and not thinking, oh, I got to be able to buy next week, hopefully it sells. Don't get bit with the FOMO bug. I still do believe there will be great entry points for stocks like Coinbase, for stocks like CleanSpark. And Bitcoin isn't going to just go straight up into eternity. There will be pullbacks along the way. That said, we might never come and see 35 or 30,000 again, but there will be pulls along the way where you can take advantage of some dip buys. But Coinbase is definitely looking good. It's just continuing its uptrend that we've been in since 1 year from now. And I do expect this uptrend to continue. I do think any pullback for Coinbase is a buying opportunity. Same with a lot of these Bitcoin miners. And here's CleanSpark, just went absolutely crazy pre-market, and now that the market's been open for a while, we are still up about 12%. We'll see how CleanSpark closes today, but keep in mind we did gap up here. Once we broke this resistance we had back in late summer, this around 750 resistance, we just continued breaking out. We did gap up, and I am anticipating a pullback to 750. I think that is very, very likely. But CleanSpark's been experiencing some great increase in volume, breaking out to new prices we haven't seen in quite a long time, and they expect a record quarter where revenue is concerned, nearly a $70 million quarter to wrap this year up. October, November, and December have so far been great for Bitcoin, and it's going to be reflected in CleanSpark's earnings coming up. And hopefully Bitcoin continues rallying throughout December and they beat this revenue target, maybe get into the 70 millions. And as I said before, guys, I think there is possibility to see a profitable quarter, either the quarter coming up or the quarter before the halving. We still have 2 quarters to go, 2 quarters being reported before the halving, and I do think there are a lot of really exciting times to come for CleanSpark. They're expecting more efficiency for their miners, getting down towards 23, 24 joules per terahash. And this is going to help them as difficulty increases, as rewards get cut in half. And I'll touch more on that in just a second. But CleanSpark, any pullback to me great buying opportunities looking long term. And the Bitcoin halving is only 134 days away. You'd be surprised how quickly it just creeps up on you. And there is still definitely the potential for Bitcoin to be testing all-time highs or breaking all-time highs by the halving. We're only 35-40% in gains away from all-time highs. And you'd be surprised what can happen in only a couple of months. I wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin pushing all-time highs. And in that case, I think the media won't be able to spread fear with these Bitcoin miners, because I know that they're going to try to put a spin and say, hey, the Bitcoin halving is bearish for these miners. Their rewards are getting cut in half. But think about the bigger picture. After the halving, Bitcoin's price always accelerates to the upside, and everything's still playing out perfectly according to plan. We are anticipating the halving. Bitcoin has been running up to the halving, as it always has, with exception of part of 2020, which was an anomaly year. But you know, the big takeaway with the Bitcoin halving, while short term in some ways it's a negative, because yes, Bitcoin miners are getting their rewards cut in half, but the big picture here is Bitcoin's price will more than make up for that drop in mining rewards. And if we're pushing all-time highs with Bitcoin, breaking out of all-time highs by the halving, I think the media won't be able to spin this as much as they would otherwise if Bitcoin was, say, only at like 45,000 by halving, which I really doubt. But you know, long story short, the Bitcoin halving is very bullish for these Bitcoin miners. Yes, their rewards get cut in half, but overall, Bitcoin's price appreciation will more than make up for it. But let me know what you guys are thinking lately. Are you excited with Bitcoin recently? And of course, CleanSpark is pushing new recent highs. I do expect some pullbacks along the way, in which any dip is a buying opportunity, and has been so far throughout 2023. But let me know what you guys think. Definitely exciting times we're living in, and in my opinion, it's only going to get more and more exciting as the year rounds off and as we get towards that Bitcoin halving. But let me know, guys, what your strategy is with CleanSpark revolving around the halving. What's your strategy with Bitcoin, and are you watching Coinbase stock? I'm hoping there will be some great entry points and I can start adding to Coinbase. But thanks as always for watching, guys. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. I appreciate you for watching, and I'll see you next time.